a minute or so. Okay, here we are with Pick 1, Pack 1. And cards of note here, Doomblade, I believe is the best card in the pack. Other good cards to look at are Assault Griffin. Soren's Thirst is good as well, but Doomblade's going to be better, I think. And not sure how good Abolisher is. He's definitely not better than Doomblade, but it's an interesting card. So we're definitely going to be picking up Doomblade here. Okay, so pick 2. The immediate 2 cards I'm looking at are Incinerate and Pacifism. These are pretty equal in terms of power, but I think that we're going to go ahead and take the Incinerate just because red is a deeper color and red-black is a very good archetype. I think it's a very aggressive strategy and a very aggressive format, so we're going to try that and see where it takes us. Here we are for pack 3, or I'm sorry, for pick 3, and with the Incinerate and Doomblade we already have, I think Image is an interesting card, definitely going to be powerful. In any format, a clone effect is always good, but I think the card that we're actually looking at here is Blood Ogre. It's very good in a very fast, aggressive red-black shell. If we can have Goblin Grenade Wheel, then we could potentially use that as well, depending on our Goblin count. There's a lot of really powerful cards in this pack. We have Arachnus Web, Acidic Slime, Skywinder Drake, Stormfront Pegasus, Blood Ogre. Any of these cards I'd be perfectly happy to first pick. So I think I'm just going to take the Blood Ogre here and continue with the red-black theme. Okay. Here, the power level of all the cards is quite a bit lower. Lava Axe fits our deck pretty well. Slaughter Cry is good too, but typically you end up seeing Slaughter Cry going a little bit later than Lava Axe. And Lava Axe is exactly what we want to be doing on turn 5, so I think we're going to pick up the Lava Axe here. Okay, so here we have 2 Manic Vandals, Crimson Mage, which I think is very good for this archetype. I mean, it's still a 2/1 power, or a 2 power creature for 2. I mean, Blood Rage Vampire is okay. I mean, he does have Bloodthirst, so he does get better, but I don't think he's as good as the Crimson Mage here. So I think I'm just going to take that instead. Like, Manic Vandal's a fine card also, but I think the Crimson Mage is going to be a little bit better for us. We really want to maximize our early drops. Fireslinger is perfect for what we want to do. And if we can pick up like a late Crumbling Colossus, that's a nice finisher also. But we really want a lot of 1-drops and 2-drops just to, you know, kind of start the game with a lot of pressure and then finish and seal the game out with a Lava Axe or 2. Okay, so here we've got Fling, Ring Flesh, Onyx Mage. There's clearly a lot of white still coming, so, you know, it could be that, you know, white's a strong color to go into. We don't necessarily have to be red-black, but I still feel that Doomblade is stronger than either one of these white cards, and Onyx Mage is actually quite good for this setup, just because we can trade up with our creatures. Ring Flesh is also very good, but I think that I'm going to pick up the Onyx Mage here just because, you know, we might have another chance at a Ring Flesh, and this way if our creatures get outclassed by like larger green creatures, you know, we can still actually trade up with them. So, okay, so here we're looking at either picking up like a mid to late game card with the Drifting Shade, but I think it's not really what we want to do. You know, we're not heavy black, so I mean it's going to be a fairly powerful card, but I think it's going to be a little less powerful than either the Tunneler or the Piker or the Combust. Combust is a great sideboard card, and I think we can actually grab another Tunneler. it's kind of strange picking up a sideboard card this early, but I think that the sideboard gives a lot of power to these limited decks. So if you can craft your sideboard, with your weak matchups in mind, then you might be able to build a better deck. I also think that we may see another tunneler, so may not be correct, but just sort of a gut feeling on that one. So here we've got Bonebreaker, which is certainly a fine late drop, and Hideous Visage, which is kind of interesting. I think it's actually not bad for what we want to be doing. But I also think we can maybe pick one up later. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a nice falter effect, and I think I'm actually going to pick it up here. Just because you kind of want one or two of those in your deck. And unfortunately here, the Slaughter Cry came back, and we now need to grab some more creatures. So it's possible I should have picked up the 4/4 over there, and potentially the Tunneler as well. So at this point, this is a fairly new archetype for me to be drafting in M12, but I can definitely see how it can be a very powerful one. So I think we're going to need to really try to focus on creatures here for a little bit until we get a nice healthy number. Okay, and here Greater Basilisk is the best card. I mean, I think picking up the Fire Breathing is actually not a bad sideboard option, just because it does essentially take care of illusions, but then again, we already have 2 combusts, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. I mean, this way, if we open, some ridiculous green bomb, then we can potentially shift things around. It's always nice to hedge near the end of a pack, just so that you have options. Okay, so we'll definitely take the Slaughter Cry here. And we really need to pick up some creatures in the next pack. Guardian's Pledge is one of those cards that if you see the mono white deck, it can be extremely powerful. Doesn't always come together, but it certainly is an archetype, and in that deck, it is absolutely ridiculous. So it doesn't hurt just to, cut things like that just in case. Okay, so hopefully we can pick up some creatures in this next pack. Really fill out our early curve. Maybe grab another Lava Axe. Potentially like another Incinerate, something like that. Okay, here we are for pack 2. The strongest card in this pack is definitely Stingerfling Spider. We only have like 2 cards in black that are good at the moment. I mean, we could take the Sorin's Thirst here. It's definitely a strong card. We are really short on creatures, though. It's probably still better to take Sorin's Thirst than the Onyx Mage, although the Onyx Mage is quite good also. But what we could do as well is we could actually go into green here, abandon the black, and then if we pick up like a Rampant Growth or a Manalith, splash the Doomblade. That would be a fine option also. Yeah, well, I think I am actually going to do that, because if we get the Rampant Growth to table, we could potentially do that. Also, we're so short on creatures. Green is really heavy on creatures, and I'm kind of worried about being able to get enough creature density. And then the Jade Mage is a very nice pass here. Plummet is also very good, but I think Jade Mage is definitely stronger. So we'll go ahead and pick that up. Also, Crimson Mage is very good in like the red-green deck, just because, giving haste to larger, more expensive creatures is always good. And it looks like we could have ended up picking up a few creatures in red and black if we'd stayed. But I mean, Garrick's Companion is a great card. And it's very good at turning on Bloodthirst. And the green is just continuing to come, so I'm very happy we did this. Merfolk Looter is quite good, but we are at this point pretty much cemented into red-green, or potentially red-black. So I think I'm going to take Acidic Slime here. I believe it is the best card in the pack, if you're not blue. Okay, so here we could take the Rampant Growth. We do have a number of 5-drops, and I believe the Rampant Growth is going to be better than just like a Stampeding Rhino. You don't want to have too many 5-drops. Like the Hellhound is fine also, same with Titanic Growth, but I think Rampant Growth is going to help us out the most, especially if we can splash the Doomblade. And, we still have the possibility, I mean, if we open an absolutely insane bomb in pack 3 in black, we could potentially, go green-black, splashing red for Incinerate, something like that. So, we still have a lot of options. But given the choice, I'd like us to kind of be in red-green, maybe splashing black for Doomblade. Okay, so here, Plummet is a very good card, and it's good to have one in your deck, but Lurking Crocodile, I think it helps sort of against, the blue decks that are going to have flyers also, just by racing, and, I mean, we already have 2 Combusts in the sideboard, potentially to bring in against flyers, so I think that Crocodile is going to be a little bit stronger for us, especially since we have so many ways to turn on Bloodthirst. Okay, here we've got a Carnage Worm. This is a card I've just been more and more impressed with. Now, granted, we could pick up the Piker here, just to turn on Bloodthirst for our Lurking Crocodile, or the Blood Ogre. And that's definitely a valid option, but a 9/9 trample is so hard to deal with in this format. I mean, if you don't get a bomb, this card is a bomb. So I think I'm going to take the Carnage Worm here. Okay, here we're going to pick up... Oh, this is actually kind of close. Rampant Growth really helps us out for making sure we hit those late drops and picking up the Doomblade, but Lurking Crocodile is really kind of a strong card against, those blue decks, and also just the Bloodthirst makes it very good. We are still kind of creature light. I think I'm going to go with the Crocodile here. Rampant Growth is really... Well, no, I'm going to take the Rampant Growth. We just want to make sure we hit those late drops, and, since we are definitely going to be able to splash Doomblade now, I think it's going to be slightly better for us. This way, if we see more 5-drops in green, we don't have to be so apprehensive about picking them up. There is also a school of thought that, drafting a lot more of the late drops and the early Rampant Growths is kind of a trap, because then you get stuck in a position where you sort of have to allow Bloodthirst to happen. So it is possible that taking the Crocodile there is correct, but we're going to try the Rampant Growth and see how it works for us. Okay, and unfortunately we do get past the Rampant Growth here. So, really wish we had taken the Crocodile there. Of course, didn't know it was going to come back, but we might have been able to anticipate, the Rampant Growth may be coming back. Don't really want 3 Rampant Growths, although, I mean, it is a way to deck thin. Ring Flesh is, I'm not sure that, well, I think I'll take the Rampant Growth here, yeah. Here we're going to pick up the Plummet. I suppose we could have taken Ring Flesh there. it may really be overkill to play this